So here we go, White Sands. Great national park in New Mexico, but of course it's going to start through a brewery because you're traveling with me. So here we are at Cloudcroft. When we were driving across from Roswell, we looked up a few different breweries, decided we're going to stop, we're going to have lunch, something like that, have a couple beers, and then head on down. This place was awesome. It's kind of a ski town. It's kind of a mountain. It's not huge. It's a great drive. You know, we're pulling in. There's lots of snow everywhere. You got the ski lifts going, the ski hills going. It was really cool. Pulled up to this brewery. It's like 11 o'clock, I think. There's a line of people waiting to go in, which is always a good sign. Went in. Bartender was cool. The place was awesome. Decorations were cool. Everything about it was awesome. Beer was great. I could go back there and spend the day. And if you'll look, you know, some of the stuff that was in this place, there's a big outdoor facility. Just great. So, Cloudcroft Brewing, if you're ever in that area, Cloudcroft is a really cool town. You know, and then after Cloudcroft, it's basically just drive down the mountain into White Sands. You can kind of see there's some pull-offs. There's quite a few, you know, rock ledges and mountains. You can look out in the distance and see White Sands. As a matter of fact, you can see it right there if you looked really hard across the horizon. But it's pretty interesting watching the whole thing. Definitely worth it. Really fucking LS. I don't know why somebody would write that, but whatever. There's better things to do. Yeah, we won't get into that one now. But yeah, like I said, there's some lookouts. Just really neat drive. Lots of cool scenery. Lots of things to see along the way. You know, there's some tunnels, different stuff. Honestly, I heard some things, you know, that when we were in New Mexico, some of the people that live there were talking about, you know, oh, why would you come here? Man, I'm going to tell you, it's an overlooked place because there is so much interesting stuff going on. We went up through Texas to Guadalupe, up into Roswell, Carlsbad, then Roswell, then we're coming across, we crossed Cloudcroft, and then went into White Sands. We're about to get there now, just a short drive. We're going to pull in and let's talk a little more about the park when we get there. So when you get into White Sands, what you're going to notice, I mean, it's these roads, it's paved to a certain point and then it just kind of is the sands. And I'm not sure if it's constantly evolving, and I think this might be the case, that they just go in, because if you look, there's drifts along the sides. And it's really interesting to watch, because, I mean, it's just like it's snow. I don't know, this is kind of interesting. I don't know what it's going to be like to walk on it. I keep hearing you can actually walk on it. It's not like sand. But man, it looks like it. So, it's a lot like sand to me. Yeah. Loose area on the edge right away, but up here, it's much more solid than I would expect. I mean, the next thing is, you know, I'm walking around up there, and like I said, one of the biggest things that everybody talks about is how interesting this stuff is. It's basically gypsum. It's been blown, and this whole thing is kind of gently moving across the desert on its own. It's kind of, as the wind blows, it just kind of keeps going. Eventually, you know, it'll continue on and get larger till it just no longer exists. But I mean, it's a really different park. We pulled in and you don't see a whole lot of cars. You almost feel like you're alone. But when you get up on top of these dunes and you look around, there's people. There were people all over the place. And if you go there, I firmly suggest get a sled, rent whatever, and go sleigh riding. I could imagine that, a little more in the summer, being able to sleigh ride and not be freezing cold. I mean, it was cold the day we were there. You can see I'm wearing a hoodie. It's not like ridiculously cold, but we were there in February and it was cool enough, or actually we were there in January, and it was cool enough that it just, it wasn't comfortable to be walking around in short sleeves. But I could imagine in the summer or in spring, sun's out and that white, and being able to sleigh ride on that would be awesome. And it really is a really beautiful landscape to look across, as you can see it there. And you can see the lines, and you can see all the people that have been there. I mean, we were there midday, and I mean, not a ton of people there, but you can see every footstep. And then at night, the wind blows through, and every morning it's like brand new again. There's nothing. It's immaculate when you get there. So if you're ever early enough, you get there early, and before anybody else steps foot on it, you get to see this pristine look, and I highly suggest that. You see people have written their names in the sand, and I might draw some things that I shouldn't have, but we got to do what we got to do to keep everybody else happy. Yeah, guys, this was very well worth it. Great trip. It's kind of a neat park. You can go to the visitor center. When you pull in, the visitor center's right there. Pretty interesting place. And again, my artwork for my wife. Just, don't know what that is I drew, but she enjoyed it, I thought. She didn't seem to want to take a picture of it, though. And she hit me. Did I deserve that? Let me know. We're married. We can do that stuff. Just a really neat experience. And then we stayed there, and I believe it's Alamogordo. One good brewery there in town. They got a little train museum. Stop by and see those guys. It's kind of a clubhouse for them. But it was kind of neat to see a bunch of the trains and hear the guys kind of geek out about them and tell us about the different gauges and all that stuff. And then they have train rides through the park. It's all kind of cool stuff. It's pretty neat. I don't even think is it going uphill? It feels like saying exactly walking on it. It's solid. I mean, like sure-footed. You're not sinking in. You're not constantly trying to get your grip. It's just walk. And of course, I have to write some inappropriate shit about my wife in the sand, so I don't know if I'll share it with you. I thought it was funny. And like I said, I'm not like the normal guy you ever watch doing this. My batteries will go dead. Fill this thing up. Guys, this is White Sands National Park. Third one on this trip. It'll be the last one. I'll head back to Kentucky tomorrow. So we're going to see what breweries we have at Alamogordo, or however. Please, somebody correct me. Tell me how wrong I am for saying that. New Mexico. I like this area. I really loved coming through Cloudcroft. That was a cool town and a very cool brewery.